Trap squad, trap squad, trap squad, trap squad.
Stimmy-Stimmy-Ya, Stimmy-Yam, Stimmy-Ya. Promise some shit and you gonna take it away.
Take it away.
Like natural part
Oh, that's-
bound for
yo.
yards. Yeah, from the home of the Dodge and Broke Squad. Clickbaity,
Brooklyn.
killer bees on the storm. Yeah,
Yo, what up, y'all?
Stimmy-Stimmy-Ya,
It's-
Stimmy-Yam, Stimmy-Ya.
Stimmy-Yam, Stimmy-Ya. Promise some shit,
Then you take it away.
get elected, and no. Promise some shit, get elected, and take it away. Somebody said, "Man, they're gonna come in goofy as hell, though." Nabil,
No, baby.
you new beard having 23 with pussy juice on your teeth looking ass boy. Sit down. Sit down, boy.
Sit down somewhere. What kind of juice?
What up,
is that?
Marcus?
You trying to get
Put
canceled,
that
ain't
juice.
you, boy?
Hey, listen.
You trying to-
Here's how I
This
feel.
boy woke up trying to get canceled. Like, you know what? Today's a good day to be the last show of Clickbaity Political Thirst Trap. Oh, you got some shit in your cup. That's what's going on. Where your hookah at, man? Calm down.
Okay, boss. Marcus. Look, Marcus. Okay.
Oh,
boss.
yeah, that's right. That's right. Hey, he's
Listen.
become a meme. Hey, Dwayne, would you do us a favor? Would you like put Mondale on the screen by himself and Mondale just exhale? Because we need a meme moment from the hookah, and since
Wait.
that's what you do all the time, right? Yeah, so
Yeah,
go ahead and
yeah,
inhale.
right. Well, it's too early in the hookah. It's a brand new hookah. Let me see if I can get a smoke.
Stimmy-Stimmy-Ya, Stimmy-Yam, Stimmy-Ya. Y'all know y'all like that, Trap Squad. Squirrel Gang. Hey, somebody need to come up with a dance. That squirrel walk.
Yo,
Do that squirrel
let's
walk.
see who has a dance.
Do that.
Also,
Do that.
I need
That
to
squirrel walk.
acknowledge that. I need to acknowledge that Tamara Allen has been saying that I've been saying the wrong date for the book club. It is not the 17th, it's the 13th. That means it's this weekend, which means all you procrastinators, you have less days than Professor Black Ass Me have been telling you. You have until the 13th to be prepared for this motherfucking work. All right?
Yeah.
So we are doing this book study. Listen, and everybody's keep asking what level of Patreon you need to be to come to this book club. If you fuck with me as on the Patreon level, then you automatically get the Zoom because it's in our Patreon chat. Just go back and scroll. The Zoom link is in there. If you show up and if you share that link, and y'all know how I am, you know what's gonna happen if you bring your cousin who read the book but didn't pay the tuition. You know what I'm gonna do. I'm not gonna let him monitor the class. He's gonna get kicked the fuck out. So please
Why
come
is
through
he
those.
still on
Come
campus
through.
anyway? Why is he
That
still
nigga
on
is
campus?
74 years old, Marcus.
Don't we have security around this motherfucker? Listen, why are you here? Bro, look, okay, I get it, right? You know, you signed up for classes 2 years ago when financial aid ran out. So, you know, you a 8th year senior trying to still get at the freshman, bro. Come on, man.
And the motherfucker been in college so long, his first credits have expired.
Yeah, them children. Hey, them children.
Sure. Leave them girls
those are
alone.
children.
Leave them babies alone. Leave them babies alone. We had a guy
Mondale.
like that in school. When I was in college, we had this guy named Old Man Sam. Dude had to be like 40 something, and he was a sophomore. And listen, the young folk knew him as Old Man Sam. He had been there so long. And guess what he plays, Marcus? G5G.
Oh, he played G5G? Wait, y'all made up a frat called G5G?
No. G5G is they don't call themselves a frat. They call themselves a social club. But they were actually founded. G5G is the male version, and the female. I can't remember the female version, but they were formed during the 60s, so they're not considered one of the Divine Nine. But their missions, the reason they were formed, was some Black Panther type shit. So I mean, they get clowned by the other fraternities and sororities, but their mission, the reason they were founded, was on some Black Panther shit. For real.
Well, you just put me on something. I didn't see that chapter at FAMU, but G5G, that's what we want to be. G5G, that's what we want to be. G5G, one of the greatest movies of all time. Another all-time
Marcus,
great.
it's called
days.
Groove 5. Marcus, Groove 5 Groove Fellowship Inc. They got 60,000 plus life members, 200 plus chapters. In the 1960s, the word groove was popular among young Blacks, right? The groove stood for, it was defined as a fixed routine in the affairs of life. Hence, the word goes against the meaning of groove. So grooving was about socializing, fellowshipping. They formed Groove by Groove. They had to be, let's see, let me tell you about some of their stuff. They had like 12 fucking founding members.
Yeah, boy. Because if you weren't reading this right now, I'll be telling you you're full of shit, full of poppycock.
Guess you ready for this?
Yeah.
Guess who is a member of Groove Five? Groove.
Who?
G.K. Butterfield, my friend.
Oh, really?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Earl the Pearl Monroe
Earl
was
the Pearl Monroe is a member.
So, Junkyard Dog, the wrestler, was a Groove 5 Groove member.
Junkyard Dog. How about that? Yeah, so you see all these brothers was woke. I saw a picture of Samuel Jackson
Listen,
Young. Samuel Jackson,
the
was
men
like
of
25 years old. He
Groove
looked
5
like
Groove. That ain't never happened. You lying like shit.
What?
That was that nigga son. Samuel Jackson ain't never been 25. That nigga was born 47.
He looked like
so I know you lying.
real shit. He looked like he was like he's one of them kids that was like 12 years old and looked like he was 48. Mean mugging you. You know what I'm talking about? Hey, Mondale. The stimulus passed today.
Say word.
Word. Stimulus passed.
$15 an hour was in there?
Not as long as that tote carrying currency lady is in the office.
Fuck you, man. Cinema. Man, what do they call it? Joe Man Cinema.
Joe Man Cinema. Listen, so the House approved the stimulus bill today, giving millions and millions of families some version of relief during COVID. I'm happy something happened, but I have mixed feelings. It's sort of like celebrating being allowed to win, being allowed to breathe air. It's sort of like escaping a fart. That's how I feel. That's how I feel about this bill. This bill was sort of like just escaping a fart. We needed it. Everybody needed it. You needed some fresh air. But you weren't gonna die. Folks were already making it on their own. But on the same token, it just feels really good to have fresh air and being away from a old stank ass fart.
So
let's do it.
If we consider that January the 20th was Joe Biden's first day in office, it's March the 10th, which is 10 days away from his 90th day in office. And we got that, what you said, this fart escaping stimulus. This is looking like I'm gonna be eating a lot of crow during this administration because this brother promises a lot of shit in his first 100 days, and we just getting the shit he promised on his first day. So I'm really scared about what's gonna happen with this administration. So this fart escaping stimulus smells just like that, stinky as fuck, because we got people that are millionaires debating whether poor people starving because of bad policy, should have $300 or $400 a week for unemployment.
Well, I mean,
so
listen.
What a wonderful analogy you created there, Marcus.
Yeah, man. Listen.
This is Pepe Le
You
Pew.
you get elected to the Senate to become a millionaire if you're not one already. And for some strange reason, we keep electing millionaires or people on their way to being multimillionaires. Georgia just did it. Don't get it twisted. Those aren't two broke people. Those aren't two broke people that we just put into the U.S. Senate. You know, Sinema, she's well on her way. You know, like, so I mean, you know, now there's people who understand our plight, and then there's people who, you know, don't understand our plight, right?
Correction, Cinema's already a millionaire.
Oh yeah. I'm tripping. How'd she become a millionaire?
Born white.
Well, that's the normal excuse. The House on Wednesday approved President Biden's sweeping $1.9 trillion COVID-19 relief package in a starkly partisan 220 to a 211 vote, sending the legislation to the White House and clinching Democrats' first big legislative victory in the Biden era. No Republican lawmakers backed the legislation, which will become law as much of the nation marks 1 year of lockdowns from COVID-19 era. Just one Democrat, Representative Jared Gold in Maine, opposed the measure. Biden said he was going to sign the measure as soon as it reaches his desk, with White House saying he's expected to sign Friday. The president is set to address the nation Thursday evening on the coronavirus pandemic. This is from The Hill. Shout out to The Hill for trying to keep it 1,000.
So let's just say that, first of all, the fucking fact that it's going to take more than 24 hours to get 4 blocks down the street or 7 blocks down the street is absolutely disgusting. Shows again how callous these motherfuckers are to people really are starving. And we know this doesn't seem like a lot one day, but if you're struggling with the bill, and we're not here to piss on the COVID bill in that it doesn't mean anything to people that are starving or struggling. That's not what we're saying. What we're saying is just like somebody a comment Dwayne just put up about somebody saying they gave us our allowance of our money. It's like it's the government. These 555 or 56 people are acting as if they are the bank. The bank's closed, and we have a fucking limit on what we can withdraw from an ATM. This is our money. Thank you, Luke Kane, for that comment. This is our money. You don't have the right to starve people. You don't have the right to starve people. Fighting over from 400 to 300 and knowing that you weren't gonna get Republican support anyway, they should have just rammed this shit down their throats, bro, with everything that they promised people. And now, even though I knew what you was talking about, Joe Biden, when you said 1,400 plus the 600 was already promised was gonna be the 2,000. Now I'm thinking if this was gonna be the case, you should have gave motherfuckers 2,400, and you shouldn't have been 1 month thing. It should have been every month until we came out of fucking lockdown, and not Texas style lockdown until we have reached herd immunity with COVID vaccinations. That's how long people should be getting this money. Because if you look at other countries that are not as wealthy as America, that are developed, they've been paying their residents, their citizens, money every month. Not even 1,400. They've been getting 2,000, 4,000, depending on where you were. Some countries getting 3,000 a month, every month to their citizens. So it just shows you, it reminds you that all these rich fucking people that represent us, and we can't do votes of confidence or no confidence on these bastards, is absolutely disgusting. And it also harkens back to the fact that we made last night, Marcus, that we no longer need to keep electing people to make this much money while they're in office. You should make what minimum wage is. We should pay all of your bills in DC and your travel associated with your office and your duties of office. But beyond that, you shouldn't be making hundreds of thousands of dollars when you think it's okay to give people less than dignity for working or applying for jobs and not being able to get a job.
As silly as this sounds, Mondale, and that was well put. I think everyone needs to kind of key in on what Mondale just said. I think we need a fourth branch of government at this point, because the way
shout out to Ben Dixon on Facebook watching us.
I think we need a fourth branch of government. And I think that government needs to, I know it sounds crazy, but I think that fourth branch of government should be the people. Because the way it is set up right now, you have, the judicial, you have the executive, and you got Congress, right? And they are working with each other to fuck us over. I don't think, even though we put people there, right? The people put people there to represent us in two of the branches. I think the people themselves need their own branch of government. I do. I think it needs to be called the people. And I almost think it needs to be damn near either survey driven or need driven, and but it's driven purely by science. And it does nothing but studies. And whatever the studies say is best for the people becomes our platform. Studies, not real studies, not, so if COVID was killing X amount of Americans and X amount of Americans were losing their jobs, then that branch of government puts out something that says, okay, well, the average American needs $2,000 a month. Forget what anybody else has to say. Right? We're not represented, man. We get excited when we get excited about $1,400 and then watch a $200 million bombing run in Syria and don't put the two things together. This like we need something that actually represents American people, because the way it's going right now, elections are bullshit. I mean, and I want y'all all register and I want y'all to vote, but man, I'm starting to believe some of these elections are just full of shit. Because what's the point of all of us going hard for Joe Biden and hard for Georgia and then turning around and somebody like Kirsten Sinema and Joe Manchin get to dictate whether we can have certain things or not. We didn't get power. We didn't vote for Kirsten Sinema to be in control of the, like, what's the point of having the president? Right? So we need a fourth branch of government. We need a fourth branch of government, man. I know that might sound crazy, Mondale, but we need a fourth branch of government, dog, that represents people. And I don't even know how it looks yet, but I know we need
it doesn't look like the current fourth branch of government, which is the media. It absolutely needs to be something that checks senators. And it's like if you are a millionaire, you shouldn't be able to vote against motherfucking anything about people's salary. Fuck out of here. It should be illegal. It should be an ethics violation. It should be an ethics violation for you to vote that people can't get $15 an hour if you're a fucking millionaire. You are a son of a bitch. I don't call people son of a bitches. I did it on purpose. Yes, you should be wrong. It is, man. Let's just be honest, bro. Did anybody this week after I said, go put $15 on your table and look at that, and then consider an hour worth of your life? An hour worth of your life. Not just sitting on vacation, not just sitting on a chair in your house watching TV. Consider doing your job, whatever your job is, consider it for those 3 5s and think that's enough. Anybody that believes $15 is enough for any hour of labor is disconnected from reality, bro. So I am disgusted that these people who are super rich, these are the 1% choosing how poor people should be. How poor people should be.
And doing just enough to keep us from revolting. We need to up our standards, America. Them French people had it right. They will lop your head off. Let them eat cake. We are being told let them eat cake on a daily basis. And I mean, what's wrong with negotiating from a higher point, Democrats? What's wrong with starting off the conversation at $10,000?
Right.
It ain't your money.
What's wrong with starting out? What's wrong with starting out with eliminating all college debt?
What's wrong with? Yeah, what's wrong with we need a nationalized health care program.
What's wrong with starting off with Marcus's Rep 1? What's wrong with it? I mean, it's the trap squads now because Marcus said it to y'all. So the trap squads Rep 1, but it was Marcus's brainchild. So what's wrong with it? Well, why are we starting from their space? When we negotiating, our starting point is 15. Then we let the motherfucking so-called used car sales manager say it a different way. The Republicans determine what we're gonna sell the motherfucking car for. We know it's gonna be less than $15 an hour. And then we got these weak ass Democrats. That motherfucker from Maine shouldn't even be classified as a Democrat anymore. Marcus, I'm literally trying to start a hashtag that's gonna trend. D-15. D-15. Anybody that does not support $15 an hour should be subtracted from the Democratic Party. D-15.
I like it. I like it a lot. Especially considering the fact that this is not like a fight that, at some point, Kirsten Sinema was a part of a party that supported $15 an hour. You mean to tell me that, by the way, there has been polls that came out, and I'll try to, if we could try to find them, Dwayne, Tunde, we could try to find them, but there's a poll that came out from Arizona citizens. And they polled Arizona citizens on the increasing of the wage to $15 an hour. Guess what the percentage was of overall? Not Democrats, not independents, not Republicans, but everybody.
Everybody. Probably
62% of Arizonans believe in a $15 an hour minimum wage.
Guess what that is, Marcus? Marcus, guess what it is?
But hold on. But she was up there doing exactly what she's doing in her politics. She was up there dancing because she's playing a game with these people. And it's an unnecessary game. You selfish, slimy woman. You selfish,
Marcus,
slimy woman. 60% of your state support something, and you're a Democrat, and you go against it?
Hold on, Marcus. Hold on.
Who reads these people? Who, like, literally, is there anybody who reads these people? Hold on one second, Mondale. Is there anybody who reads these people? Like, look here, sit your Sit your ass down. This is what we gonna do. Because we need this. Nah, she's over there playing political games. And you know what? I got a special FU to her little political director. You can, your little political manager, your little political consultant, trying to make it okay. Kirsten Sinema seems like she's an independent firebrand. No, she's not. She ain't no independent firebrand. There you go right there. 61% of likely voters support Democrats' gradual minimum wage hike.
Listen, Marcus. That's Vox News.
And that's from Fox News? Come on.
Vox. No,
oh, okay.
not
I'm
Fox,
about to say,
Vox.
Whoa.
But still, listen to this though. Listen to this, Marcus. On November 3rd, 2020, something remarkable happened. We're not talking about the unelecting of Donald Trump. I'm talking about the citizens, the residents of Arizona. Listen to this now, Marcus. Voted on a ballot initiative. Exactly. Voted on a ballot initiative. Prop 207 in Arizona voted to legalize marijuana. Guess what the percentage was? Less than it was the motherfuckers that support $15 an hour. So guess what that means? Our remedy for fucking cinema, our spit in her face, is to put it as a ballot initiative. Because 62%, because it was 60% that supported 207, Prop 207 to legalize marijuana. That's 2% higher. So we need to make it a fucking ballot initiative to show her that she's disconnected from the people she supposedly represents.
Speaking of the ramifications of that bill, I just want to let you know, a little off topic, but I do want to let you know that, man, like there is something about the experience, especially from people who are from states that weed is not legal. There is something about the experience of saying, you know what? I'm 21 years old and I want some weed. And just saying, I just want some cannabis. And going and getting in your car, especially as a black person, right? Like a black person from a state who uses cannabis products and from a place that is illegal, you go to a place like Arizona and you're just in awe. It's one of the most amazing experiences in your life. And this is, 36 states have legalized in some form. If you have your medical marijuana cards, most states are medical marijuana, but some states are completely legal. And there is absolutely nothing like, for your first time ever, just taking your ID and your money. I almost want to cry. Taking your ID and your money, going into a building, showing your ID that says that you're 21 years old. They open up the door and they just let you in, and you can just look at all types of weed.
Listen, Marcus, the first time I did that, listen, hold on. I got a real life experience, nigga. It was October 2019. I was in Nevada. And that shit happened. I experienced it. I walked into the largest weed store in the country. And that shit,
man,
I was nervous. Marcus, I was nervous as fuck buying this shit from a store.
Hey,
is this really happening?
Yo, listen. So I had a medical marijuana card, right? And Curaleaf, one of the big companies, took over my old marijuana dispensary. But and I'm thinking to myself, I remember how much effort I went through just to get a medical marijuana card. And when I went in and the doors open to the intersection of the cannabis department, and it was like, oh, angels singing. And it was black people, and they were the little bud tenders are just happy little human beings because they get to sell people weed all day long. They had ice cream in there. They had gummy bears in there. They had, and this is not like a tribute to cannabis. This is more so like we realize how less dangerous legalizing cannabis is, right? And it's a common sense approach, but I'm going to utilize this. Most Americans want legal cannabis. When most Americans want something, it tends to be better for society. And that experience of going in and just
shout out to the zip being on Jenny.
Oh, thanks,
out.
thanks, Jenny. Well, yeah,
Thanks, Jenny.
that experience is amazing.
I ain't coming
Now-
to Oregon, but I appreciate that.
Yeah, but here's what I'm saying though. Let me go a step further. If most Americans support a living wage, which most Americans really do support a living wage, there's not many polls that get polled about this, but I guarantee you over 50% of Americans support a living wage because that's America. Now imagine how that feeling, that euphoric feeling that I had going into the cannabis shop becomes a euphoric feeling of the American worker if we just passed a bill that said we're giving all
Hold on,
Americans a living
Hold on
wage.
one second.
Trap squad, trap.